we want to be in the next 10 years is to make banking enjoyable. Based on that, we changed our whole brand to be a brand for the next 10 years, make banking simple and enjoyable and frictionless. Data is the most important thing, and if you can use that properly, we can really give creative solutions, innovate. Certainly, the way forward for retail banking is about data. 60-70% of our fixed deposits are now opened online, completely on the mobile. And if you look at payments, we do about 500,000 utility bill payments a month. So we've been also observing a lot of the activity that is happening globally. And for us, in terms of strategy, one is collaboration. So we are looking at the fintechs that are here, or maybe in India or Singapore, and looking at who are the partners that we can work with to provide those solutions. Because sometimes it's difficult to build and operate, systems on your own for everything. So if there is a fintech that can come, use our APIs and give us a customer solution that supports our customers, then we will certainly use that, and that's the way we want to go forward. So collaboration is one, and other part is looking at our products and seeing what are the customer journeys that we want to digitize. So we want to give that same customer experience that a neobank would give, and that's really, they operate on convenience. How fast are they to market, how easy it is for a customer to get a product, how many swipes do you need to do to get a loan to your account. So we are looking at that as a strategy and seeing how do we change our customer journeys to make it that customer friendly and simple for people to operate. If you look at the big difference between a traditional bank and the digital bank is that simply you can do all your banking without ever coming into a physical branch. So that is the direction that we also need to take. And it may not be for everyone. There are still be many people who want to come into bank branches, especially the older generation. But the younger generation, for them, it doesn't matter. If they have their instruments on their phone, and they can transact, they can manage their banking and their investments, they don't need to come to a bank at all. And our roadmap is also, going in that direction. Now, right now, our products, our mobile banking, once you have an account with us, then you can have all the convenience you want through that, investing in fixed deposits, doing your transfers, doing whatever changes to your account. The only little thing that we haven't got so far is the complete account opening without walking to a branch, but we are working on that as well. Biggest wave of digital transformation was with COVID coming in. So with this, we also started thinking about, okay, how do we actually allow all our customers to do, their transactions completely digital without ever stepping into the bank. So our mobile banking allows you to do that, because with your debit card, you can stay at home, get onto mobile banking, and then invest in fixed deposits, do all your transfers, standing orders, utility bill payments. So everything is supported through the mobile banking app. Then at the same time, we also created a wallet, which is Solo, which allows anybody who's not even a HNB customer to get on board and have that same sort of convenience, payments. So again, you want to pay your bills, you want to transfer to anybody in Sri Lanka, and the latest technology in terms of payments is the QR, which is also displayed in all the merchants. So this again allows you to transact completely digitally. So we looked at both segments, not only our customers, but the future generation that is coming in who maybe don't want a bank account, or they have a bank account, they don't want to have 5-10 bank accounts. How do we give them the convenience to transact and have that convenience to do their banking? So those two are working very well. But these are stepping stones. So we want to develop, we want to see how do we go from, with a minimum viable product, how do we get to a full bank, And like I said, the one we need to add is a complete account opening digitally, where you would never come to HNB, you would just simply have an account without walking in. And then other things like your financial planning, what are my expenses, how much am I spending on food, how much am I paying on loan repayment. So all this also we will have in a digital bank, so that people will then understand, okay, these are my patterns, this is my behavior, how do I then fine tune my income versus expenditure and completely manage my finances in the future. So So you can have all the digital assets in the world, but the usage is not there. If the traction is not there, then ultimately, you haven't been successful. So what we did initially was really train a full workforce. So be it, 50 plus or, the guys who have just joined, you go through a very thorough training in terms of digital. So what are our assets? What are our capability? What does each one do? What is the strategy behind each asset? What are the type of customers you need to onboard? So this went on, and during COVID, this was something that we focused on aggressively, so that we actually upskill and upgrade our customers, our staff, to become real digital experts. And with that, then we were able to, at our branches, do these digital conversions. So we have the QR of merchants in our branches. So the simple example was a lot of charities. So we got the charities to have their QR at our branches. So when somebody walks in, that experience can be had in our branch itself. So you download Solo, you put your instruments, you make a payment, so you are done. So that means we are actually enabling the customer to use that activity straight off. Then if you look at the mobile banking, again, if somebody is finding it difficult to log on through your debit card at home, you simply press saying, I want to come to the branch and get a solution. I contact the call center. And then again, we support to onboard. And once you come to the branch, again, we do a demo in terms of, okay, this is how you place a fixed deposit, this is how you make payments. So that part is very important. You can't leave it to traditional marketing of communication messages. It's a little difficult to get the older generation into sort of digital users. So this part we need to do sort of holding hands at the first step. So as you develop and, over a period of time, once they get onto it, then they're completely hooked and they start using it. So it has to be a bit of both in terms of educating as well as then adding products and adding value to your proposition. We constantly ask for feedback. Okay, how's our journey on a personal loan? How's our journey on a fixed deposit? Your payments. So it was a constant sort of feedback, and then changing your product proposition or your solution based on the feedback you're getting. Before we went into the market, we really understood the journeys of the different age groups. So if you're below 18, what sort of requirements would you have? What are the things you're looking for? And then youth, what are the things you want? And then we use those practical examples, fed it back into our product development. And so I think we worked along with, once the product came out, how do you fine-tune to support that usage and to get rid of all the friction that is there? And I must say that, I'm quite happy. Our mobile banking app has got very good feedback so far, and the ratings are excellent. If you look at traction, about 60-70% of our fixed deposits are now opened online, completely on the mobile. And if you look at payments, we do about 500,000 utility bill payments a month, and overall transactions close to 2-3 million, a month. So it's really moved from maybe 100,000, 150,000 before COVID. So you find a lot of people now completely hooked on to digital, and we are really happy about it. But it's an ongoing journey. I mean, we would like 100% of our base to be on digital. That's the ultimate goal. Have everybody there. We saw a local partner who was very good. We saw what he had done. In fact, they had done some work for overseas market. So we took a chance. Being a local bank, local player, work with them, and let's really jointly do this mobile banking, innovation into the market. So that worked well, because initially itself our cost was much lower than what it would have been if we went with a foreign partner. Then we also worked on a operating model. So we said, okay, can you give us a group of developers who will work with us on co-creating? So we look at sort of what are the requirements that we need to do on a weekly basis, on an agile model. And with that, sort of every 2-3 weeks, we look at, what is the requirement and how do we fine tune, how do we change? Like I said before, looking at the feedback of customers. So it's a co-creating team that, sits with us. So we are also learning from that. And our staff and our IT capabilities also enhancing at the same time. So in that sense, the cost structures are much better than what it would have been. So now if you look at it, fixed deposit rates are about 11%. So obviously it takes a while for the overall rates to come down, but we're immediately passing this back to our customers. Plus also looking at deposit mobilization. Now earlier, when you had interest rate of say 25-30%, even somebody who had 50,000 rupees will go and put it in a fixed deposit or will go into a treasury bill. Whereas now when the rates come down and the difference is say 4% to 7%, a lot of it you might keep in your savings because you need money for day-to-day expenses. So we actually see a lot of the money now coming back into the system in terms of low-cost funds. And then also with digitization. So be it a corporate, be it SME, be it individual, as you digitize more and take cash out of the system, you find a lot more deposits for the banking system. So, be the corporates pay their salaries, make their payments digitally, so that float remains within the system. Whereas if it's cash, then it kind of goes out to the system. So we are trying to digitize as much as possible overall and bring our cost structures down in terms of interest rates, the overall, and then pass that on to the SMEs, the microfinance customers, corporates, and individuals. So I feel maybe in the next month or two, we would see a lot of activity in terms of borrowing, especially from the SMEs, because actually when the interest rates were high, they even stopped doing business. Everyone is now looking at digital payments. So all that means money coming back. And so it has changed from those days, come and pay me 50% advance, over the counter. So all that is now coming back into the system. So I would actually think that banks are in a much better position as we continue to think of digitizing this. So how do we make more and more cashless and all that being digitized? And supports our customers as well. If all our clients start operating digitally, making their payments come to their accounts for credit evaluation, for understanding their operation much better, everything is so much more easier for a bank to understand if it's totally digital and less cash, which is out of the system. So I think with the focus also from central bank in terms of making sure these payments are digitized, the QR, all that will support us to acquire much more to the banking system in the future. Data is the most important thing, and if you can use that properly, we can really give creative solutions, innovate. But being banks and the traditional, systems that we've had for years, the data hasn't evolved. So if I've opened an account, say 20 years ago, and I haven't since then, come back and, taken another product, the bank still has 20-year-old data that is available on the system. So you can't innovate on top of that, because if you do, you get all your solutions wrong. So they'll evaluate me for my salary 20 years ago, my designation 20 years ago, my family structure 20 years ago. So all the solutions you provide will be wrong. So you need to use updated data, and you need to have systems that allow people to continuously update your data. Then only you can give a sort of a digital solution. So you need to work with multiple data points. So that you need to work hand in hand in terms of using data properly, but certainly the way forward for retail banking is about data. And now if you look at it, it's about hyper segmentation, in terms of looking at what is the individual's need, not like the segmentation we had earlier where we categorize a group as a segment. Now it's about giving the individual their requirements. What is it that they require? And for that, you need data to that minute level to understand and give them a proper solution for their requirements. If you look at, say, Thailand or India, a personal loan is given in 5 minutes, right? You just apply. It's all auto-checked on the bureau. The ID is checked for validation there. There is no call coming to verify because everything is already verified. And in 5 minutes, a personal loan is given. Now, ideally, that is a state that I want HNB to be in, give a card immediately. Because a virtual card on your mobile within 5 minutes means, even if you're at a mall, you get the card, you start using. You want to do installment plan, you start using. So 5 minutes for a card, equal amount of time for a personal loan. If I can get those two done along with the solutions for your deposits, that will be ideal. Mortgages will take a little time, obviously, because of, documentation and being able to, place your, mortgage and the security requirements of that. But everything else, if you are able to do, then that's what we will really look at doing. And the capability of not coming to the bank, opening an account, not even knowing what HNB branch looks like, and you bank with us for 20 years without ever coming into the branch. What we want to do in the next 10 years is to make banking enjoyable. And that is because through the research we found that, stability and, the common product range, everything is across the banks, all the same. But where can you really differentiate? And that is on the customer service, the experiences, and how do you make it frictionless. So based on that, we changed our whole brand for the next 10 years to make banking simple and enjoyable and frictionless. So we are working towards that, building on from all our sort of customer journeys to see how do we make this experience enjoyable for our customers. So in whichever way you choose, it could be through the contact center, it could be coming into our branch, it could be digital, it could be a machine there on that we have for you to deal with. But all those journeys to make it frictionless, to make it enjoyable, so that ultimately the experience will go back saying, wow, this is HNB and this is the sort of the experience that I need from all banks. So that's what we want to cater to.